What's up, Cool Like That peeps? It is me, your Cool Like That Asian in the house. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hopefully, you guys are doing great out there. I am so sorry, people. I have not been podcasting, doing videos or whatnot. It's just been a blah time for me during the pandemic. So I just, I don't know. It's my mood doesn't really change. It just stays in a plateau area. If you know what I'm talking about. If anybody feels the same exact way during this pandemic, it's just been blah. I don't feel anything. I just feel numb about stuff, and that I think over the past 4 years when Trump was in office, I just felt my rage and all of that, and then afterwards, it's just been not smooth sailing. It's just been blah. I just feel like nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just hopefully that's it. Just pretty much it's just that and nothing else different. And I don't want people to get worried because nothing else is going to happen, people. But it's just during this pandemic, it's just been a flat line where I'm just like, you know what I'm talking about? I just feel because I'm working from home and I just feel that, I'm getting up to just walk into the other room. I don't have that much excitement like I used to when I worked in the office, where I get on the bus and actually go to the office and just watch people. So now I'm just like looking out my window and see people just walking up and down the street, the garbage man, and then the bus right stops right in front of the window. So it's one of those where I don't know. I'm just feeling numb, I guess, if you know what I mean. So if you guys are also feeling the same way, and just let me know. Let me know that I'm not alone in this whole thing. But yeah, so I wanted to do a podcast, and I wrote down a list of stuff. I'm just grabbing my phone now, so I I wrote down a list of stuff that I wanted to go over that I remember as a kid, and this podcast is really going to lead up to whatever the present day is and talking about whatever. But I wanted to kind of give you my my life basically, like I've always done during YouTube videos or whatnot. But not many people know how I grew up, or not many people know what I went through to be where I am today and be the person that I am. I might be a serious, and people call me perfect, I guess. I want to look as the most perfect person, and that's what people have said. Or as people have called me a bitch, and they don't care. They'll call me a bitch, whatever. But I just have this hard exterior, I guess, when I meet people for the first time. And they don't really get to know the fun-loving type of person that I am until later in life, where I'm falling down the stairs while we're going out. So people have seen my good, my bad, my worst, everything. They've seen it. So I that's who I am. And I kind of thought about this. I was wondering, why did I create this? But I wanted to create this because of the fact that people are going to grow up. The children nowadays, or people in life, is going to grow up thinking that it's okay, right? Everything is going to be okay, which it is. But there's going to be a different path for every type of person. And my path wasn't easy. It wasn't. I'm going to be totally honest about that. It wasn't easy. I grew up in a family that really didn't support being gay. It didn't support my type of lifestyle or my lifestyle. You know what I'm talking about? So when I talk about it, it's coming from a really personal, really sensitive space in my life where I think I forgot quite a bit of stuff. And I think I mentioned this in the last podcast about the start of my life, that I can't remember a lot, but a lot of what I remember is sometimes some of the bad stuff that has shaped me to who I am. And it's not going to make me a bad person. It's just where that hard exterior, where people think that I'm just a bitch, that he just wants to be perfect, comes from. And a lot of times I just say it like it is. I'm a sharpshooter, and I just speak my mind a lot of times. Until I met Aiden, I was very tame. And it's not a bad thing. But now that I grew older, I'm pushing my young 30s. I'm just kidding, plus 10. I'm 40. So I'm going to be 39 this year. So I'm going to be pushing it. Pretty much, I have grown to, over the last 5 years, it got me to a point where I'm just like, whatever. Life's too short to really just keep things bottled in, and life is too short to take bullshit. So a lot of these podcasts are going to be aimed towards telling you why I am the person that I am today, but also what my views are in the world, because there's a lot of views that people tend to kind of forget, and they want to be on quote unquote right side of history, and which is great, but they also need to see where the struggles are, where things happen, and they can take a different path and be on point where they're happy with themselves. Because yes, we can be out and proud and be happy and gay and walk the streets with harnesses and all of that, but that's not everybody. That's not how I was raised, to be flamboyant. I wasn't raised in that sense. So a lot of what happened in my past kind of triggers a lot of my emotions, my whatever's happening today. And I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to talk about my first gay experience. And, I don't know if it's my first gay experience, but, the time where I was getting molested as a kid is hard for me to talk about, I guess. I don't know if it's hard for me to talk about, but I just don't feel comfortable talking about it. It didn't really do much to me, but I remember. That's one of my triggering moments, but I just don't want to talk about it right now. And it's okay. It's okay to not talk about it. And I think I talked to my therapist about it, and it's really not something I want to talk about. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. But maybe later down the road, when I feel comfortable about talking about it, that I will share a little bit. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it was family or not. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. However, my second to the first, I guess, gay experience happened when I was about 16 or 17. So right before I actually moved out. My first gay experience happened. And this was back in the AOL days. If anybody remember that AOL, the shitty internet service that we had, the dial-up service that people had back then, we had that. Okay, if you guys don't remember that, then you're too young for me. So it was back in the AOL days where my mom had one computer in the house, and they had to, if somebody had to use the phone, everybody gets knocked off of their internet service. So that's how old I am, people, if you remember that. But I wanted, when my mom first started the internet, and this was just really, oh gosh, you know what? That might not have been my first experience, just seeing my first experience seeing something, so let's push it back a little bit. My dad used to take us out to take me and my brother and sister to the landfill. He used to work at the county landfill, and he was a very hard worker, my dad. And he still is, and he still wants to just be active. But he would take us to the landfill and then leave us in the office area where he goes to the landfill. When he goes into the landfill, people throw away copper, they throw away metals that is worth money. So that's why it's important to recycle, people. But just for the heck of it, you get money off of all this stuff. But people used to throw away stuff. My dad was a hard worker. He would just go through rummaging through the trash to get money to buy his treats at the end of the day. Just have spending money. And that's what I remember about my dad. He would never come home without something in hand for all three of his kids, his three strong. He would always have cookies, candies, or ice cream or something to just see the joy on his kid's face. And that's what I appreciate. That kind of brings a tear to my eye, to kind of have my dad like that. Yeah, so let me take a breath. So I think it's the emotion of it is that my dad's getting older. My mom and dad is getting older. That I don't get to see them during this pandemic. And we kind of talked on... Oh, fuck. I hate this. We talked during FaceTime. We talked during, we got to see them for quite some time. And just knowing the fact that they're getting older, and me being this close, not being close enough. Oh, Lord, hurts. I wish I was a little closer. I wish I could see them. And just give them a hug. And just know that they're okay. This past year, my dad, I guess he broke his hip or something. Oh, God. And I kind of joke about it a little bit. I kind of joke about it a little bit, too. Oh, God. This is the one thing that I really hated, because I think that's one of my biggest fears, is crying in front of people. I'm so sorry, people. Oh, Lord. And I don't know. This is just talking about my feelings. I just hate it. But yeah, my dad was a hard worker. My dad is a hard worker, and he's always been just supportive, a lot supportive of his kids. And my mom was the same way, but in a different sense, I guess. And just knowing that I couldn't be there to see my dad and just make sure he's okay. And just the evil that's happening in the world today. Just knowing that these things are so much happening in the world, it just... It kind of gets to me a little bit. And I think I'm afraid to show my feelings out there. Because over the last year and a half, I guess, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I've been trying to hold things together, hold people together, make sure my team is okay at work. It's just been a lot, I guess. But anyways, this was way off topic, and I really didn't mean to get into that part of my life, but just knowing the good times what I had as a kid, sometimes those parts I started to remember. But in my last podcast, I really didn't talk about that. I really didn't talk about the part where, oh, Lord. I really didn't talk about that because I couldn't remember. I try to remember a lot of the good stuff. I do remember some of the bad stuff, and I probably will bring it up. But a lot of times it was just a matter of
understanding where things happen, right, in my life. So getting back to the story, and I'll get more into that because I've started to realize as I get older and pushing 40 that I've been kind of missing family. I've been kind of missing just going out. I just been missing friends, but I know that it's gonna be. Uh, Gosh, I get discombobulated, and you guys, I hate doing this. I hate crying in front of people. That's one of my. I don't know what it is. It's one of my biggest fears to cry in front of people because they see this part of me just this vulnerable side, I guess, is what people say is the best part of me, but I just don't see that sometimes. So, yeah, it's this is becoming a longer video than I thought. So I might just put this up on YouTube and restart the video. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, let me just restart this video. But this might go up on YouTube just so you know, my just so my family knows that it's all good. I miss them, and I wish them everything in life. And hopefully I get to see them soon, um, in person and give them a hug. It's been about 2 or 3 years, I think, since I last seen them. So it's very hard not to see my family. And I wish that was the trip that I got to go on before, instead of going to Kona, going to see them in Maui before this pandemic started. So yeah, it's just crazy. Anyways, let me restart this video, and I'll probably put this up on my. It's not going to go on the podcast, but it's going to go onto YouTube, where you get to see my vulnerable side a lot. But I love you guys.